Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Ask Amanda Anything. These are my bite-sized videos answering your questions about resumes, job search strategy, and cover letters. So today I have an assortment of three very specific questions that came in that I wanted to address. So the first question is having a long resume hurting my chances? And that person didn't say what they're hurting, what they wonder is being hurt, but I'm assuming they mean is having a long resume hurting my chances of getting called for an interview or getting the job. And that goes back to a question I get all the time about how long should my resume be? And I really think that the majority of people should be able to keep their resume to 2 pages or less. And if you are a new graduate nurse, for example, most new grad nurses really should be able to keep things to 1 page. If you are a new graduate NP, chances are you want to feature your past nursing experience as well as your clinicals, and you may end up spilling over onto a 2nd page, especially if you're featuring any research experience, publications, that type of thing. So I think if you have a resume that's longer than 2 pages, then you can potentially be hurting your chances, because the reality is that whoever's reading your resume, hiring managers, whoever, they're not spending a lot of time on it, right? You've probably heard that statistic that, they spend less than 10 seconds reading your documents. And the resume is really to serve as a quick snapshot of your career. And there's another document called a CV, or curriculum vitae, that is meant to be many pages and document pretty much everything you've ever done professionally. But this is not usually what clinical jobs are looking for when they're asking for your resume or CV. So make sure that whatever you're including on your resume really tells a great story about you, and that you're not including any fluff or regurgitation over the basic aspects of your job. You really want to be highlighting achievements, accomplishments, that type of thing. So try to keep it 2 pages or less. And if you are a new grad nurse or someone who has fewer than 5 years of experience, challenge yourself to keep things to 1 page if you can. Question number 2, do I need my name and contact info on all pages of my resume? And my answer to that is yes. The reason being, you may or may not be kind of hand delivering a set of documents. Someone may be printing things off, and you never know how they're going to put things together. You don't know if they're going to paperclip or staple or keep your papers together, and you don't ever want a stray 2nd page that just has job history information that someone could be looking at and be impressed with and not know whose it is, not know who it goes for. So the way I lay out my templates is I put a nice large header on each page, but maybe you don't want to do things that way, in which case, at the very least, include your name and contact information like in the top corner or, on the bottom somewhere, so that every page is somehow labeled that it belongs to you. And you don't need to do page numbers or anything. You don't have to get fancy like that unless you really want to. Remember, I said in the first question, we should be striving for 2 pages or less, but just make sure that your name and contact information, even if it's just your phone number or email address, is on every page that you submit to a job application. The third question, really great question. Where on my resume should I include that I'm bilingual? Being bilingual is such an amazing skill to have and can really set you apart from other applicants, especially depending on where you are geographically and the population that you're dealing with. So I want you to include it as early as possible, definitely on the first page, and ideally in that professional summary or profile area. So you could have the last sentence or bullet point of that summary say bilingual in, English and Spanish, or whatever your languages are. If you are someone who's including a skills section, which I don't always recommend, it depends on what sort of kind of tactical hard skills you have. That's really what's usually included in a skills section. You can include that there as well. And also, if you are writing a cover letter, I definitely recommend including that somewhere as well, because especially if this is a job that wants someone who has other language skills, if you have those skills, you want to make sure that you are leading with that, because that can already set you apart from other candidates who don't have that skill. So hopefully that is helpful. So this has been a short episode, just 3 quick questions. I hope this has been helpful and enjoyable. And until next week, thanks again for checking out Ask Amanda Anything, and I'll see you next time.